On this special edition of the High Limit Room, we are on location here at Eldora Speedway for the 42nd edition of the Kings Royal. Some lucky driver will be sitting in this King's chair later on with a $200,000 check to his credit. We'll talk all about it here today at the racetrack. Myself, Brian Walker, and Tony Laporta. And we will also debrief our thoughts on this 40-lap Crown Jewel event. Also, High Limit Racing is in action on Tuesday at the Lernerville Speedway for the Don Martin Memorial Silver Cup. We've got a lot to talk about in this week's High Limit Room. The High Limit Room coming to you live on location here on the roof of the Media Center at Eldora Speedway. The Kings Royal going to be taking place here tonight, and Brian Walker standing here along with Tony Laporta. My name is Chase Rodman, ready to get into some of the storylines that have taken place here over the last week. The biggest week of sprint car racing in Ohio here, and it has been crazy all the way throughout the week. Guys, first off, I wanted to talk about Fremont Speedway because on Monday night for the Roto-Rooter Midweek Series, we saw an incredible race. We saw a first-time national touring winner, and Tony, we saw an incredible finish to that race even after the checkered flag.
That race made me do flips. It was so entertaining.
Yes.
A huge 29-car field took the green flag at Fremont Speedway. What, you don't like the flips joke?
You can't flip.
I can flip. I'm going to flip on you. Cole Macedo comes out and doesn't really shock the world, even though it was his first ever National 410 Touring Series victory. So many laps at Fremont. Spent so much time there with the Linder family after coming out from California. I think it's safe to say he knew that track as well as anybody else that was in that field. But doesn't make it any less special, doesn't make it any less fun. And I think we're all grateful to have been there and gotten to, celebrate a small piece of that victory with him.
Yeah, certainly was very exciting, and, I want to talk more about Fremont there, Brian, but I feel like, the storylines that have been here at Eldora so far this week, the double-down duels with High Limit, the Joker's Jackpot, which, of course, was on FS1, and then, of course, the night before the Kings Royal, have all been entertaining so far. Brian, what's the one thing on your mind so far that you kind of want to, because there's a lot going through your mind, I'm sure, right now.
You got to pick one.
No, you can't. It's impossible. Like, you mentioned, big week in Ohio, and it's like, Monday happened, and it's like every single day goes to another level. Between Attica, all the craziness at Attica, double down duels go crazy. That rain shower on Wednesday night was spiritual. I don't know what happened there with the sudden downpour, and then everything that happens Thursday with the Joker's Jackpot on FS1, and last night social media hits the fan and the pit area is going crazy. I cannot imagine what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible so far. And one guy who's had a pretty tough week so far, Tony, not a full-time high roller, but David Gravel. Let's recap his week. He finished second on his double-down duel, gets DQ'd for a nose-wing infraction. The next night, he's running in the B-main transfer at the Joker's Jackpot, blows a tire, smokes the fence, destroys a car. And then last night, gets called into the World of Outlaws Command Center after the checkered shenanigans with Kyle Larson.
Great word.
It has been complete cinema all week long.
Well, I like that you definitely get out in front of the story and make sure everyone is aware that David Gravel is not a full-time.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know if you guys
roller.
knew that or not, but he's not a high-limit driver, yes.
27, though.
Yeah, I read
27,
online.
yes.
I read online that might be changing.
The contract is being written as we speak.
Apparently, it was getting written over there off of turn number 2 at the start of the backstretch after the checker. Obviously a huge weekend for them and not in the way that David Gravel, Cody Jacobs, and that team wants to have it be a big weekend. I think this is an incredibly pressure-packed week, right? You have two massive races with Kubota High Limit Racing and the pressure that comes along with racing on live national television, right? That ramps everything up here in the infield. Then you have these two nights with the Outlaws and the Kings Royal. And I really do think that there's something to be said about cramming all these teams and all these ultra-competitive guys into this infield.
Yes.
And the whole world is wrapped around us in here looking down. And you might think that's, maybe digging into the weeds a little bit much, but I think there is something to be said about being here, just like at Knoxville, when everyone's pitted in the infield. You can't escape. You can't hide, right? Everybody's looking at you. And so, yeah, no doubt the gravel team is not having a good week. I think the pressure got to everybody a little bit last night. Things got emotional over in the pit area. David, and I understand also his parents had to get a little bit of help getting out of the property. You never want to see that. That's obviously not a good thing, and everybody needs to be respectful. You can have your opinions, you can't take it too far. Save that for the keyboards. Everybody seems to be so good at offering their opinions online. But no, certainly not the week anybody expected for David Gravel. Tonight, the Kings Royal is their only chance to salvage what's been a really bad week.
Hey, 200K is a nice salvage, though.
So what's that again?
200K is a nice salvage if he pulls it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and of course, David Gravel is the defending Kings Royal champion and the defending Joker's Jackpot champion as well. Tony mentioned the social media. Kyle Larson had to re-download Twitter last night to get a tweet out there to mention that David Gravel was signing a new contract next year with High Limit. Of course, he was being a little bit joking in that manner, but David Gravel in his reply was not being jokeful. Is that a word, jokeful?
Hey, Chase, we use facetious at this level.
Correct. So, Brian, he was not too happy with Kyle's tweet.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's, I think you could tell in his interview afterwards, too, with Dirt Vision, there's definitely a little bit of animosity there. Kyle said afterwards they had the meeting with Carlton in the command center that he thought they were good, but I guess we'll find out. David said in his interview they're friends, but maybe right now they're not. We'll see. $200,000 on the line, the right to be a king. I think tonight, who knows what we're going to see. It might be interesting.
It's definitely going to be interesting. It's not. There's no might about it. It's going to be interesting here at the Kings Royal, and we are going to be talking about it after the race as well on the roof of the media center. But we do want to talk about some other things that happened this week, Tony, because it's been a little bit of a sad week. It's definitely been a sad week for some of our high-limit drivers. Of course, Tyler Courtney getting involved in a huge incident in Turn 1 on lap 1 of the Joker's Jackpot. The good news is he's able to move his extremities. He's in the hospital right now in a hospital bed. We don't know when he'll be back behind the wheel, but the good thing is he is safe. He's been watching the races on TV and whatnot. And then, of course, Aaron Reitzel last night during the night before the Kings Royal. We read online today a fractured foot for him. Of course, both those drivers in the thick of a High Limit Racing championship. I guess you got to push that to the side, though, because it's just a good thing that those guys are okay after a really tough wreck the last couple nights.
Well, and you highlight the two guys that needed to be transported and receive further medical attention, but they were not the only two that were caught up in wrecks, right, this weekend. Justin Peck had still maybe the most terrifying accident. I mean, Aaron's, I think takes the cake with that second and third impact, but the way Justin's car came to a stop up there against the pole in turn number 1, Bill Baylog limped away from his race car. And I mean, yeah, just unfortunately a lot of really scary incidences due to some irregularities in the entry point to turn 1. And I'll tell you this, I've worked for Levi Jones at Eldora Speedway, and I think he and the rest of this group here are very concerned, and they're going to do what it takes to fix this problem and continue to kind of mitigate these risks. But yeah, it's been very stressful. Brian, you put out a great tweet about not wanting to see this happen to your friends anymore. You and Anthony Cree and I just got to visit Tyler Courtney in the hospital back in Dayton this morning. He is in a lot of pain, but he is in great spirits. Aaron Reitzel and his wife Shelby are driving the merch trailer back home to Knoxville as we speak. He's very hopeful, it sounds like, about getting back on the road with us at High Limit for the West Coast Swing, but they still need to see doctors. They still need to get an evaluation. They need to find out if he needs surgery. So a lot of things have been shaken up here in Eldora, and I said it last night. I think a lot of people in the sprint car world are going to look back to this week in July of 2025 and say, look at the things that came out of Joker's Jackpot and Kings Royal Week in 2025. I think the sprint car world's going to change a little bit moving forward from events that happened.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it was the wheel of misfortune on Wednesday night. If it spins a 10, Gio and the 18 are on the pole.
that's what I was going to bring up next.
Like, the butterfly effect is unreal. What if Gio is on the pole and he wins and the points are different and David doesn't get the what if scenarios are insane if that one little wheel takes a little bit farther, I think.
Chase, what if you would have been here last night? Think about what would have changed
I know,
then.
but I'm glad I did stay home because there was a lot to take in on social media. I feel like if I was here, I tweeted a lot
Brother,
last night.
social media works here too. You could have seen it all while being here.
I tweeted more last night than I have in the last 6 months because there was just too many things to talk about. And one of those things, you mentioned it very briefly, Brian, but another storyline coming out of this, which has been kind of overshadowed now after all the other things that have happened. But Gio Scelzi, a 5-year partnership with KCP Racing, came to an end after his wreck in the Double Down duels on Wednesday night. They accrued 8 World of Outlaws wins, a 4th place run on the points, a Rookie of the Year title with the Outlaws as well. And that is kicking off silly season in the middle of July, Brian, and I feel like that's going to have a lot of repercussions here, and especially with, Reitzel getting hurt, Tyler Courtney getting hurt. They're going to need people to fill those seats. There's a lot going on when that comes to that situation.
Yeah, that one move in particular really just kick-started. I mean, there have been rumors flying all over the place on the property of Eldora. Nobody knows what to believe either. Nothing's concrete. You've heard this guy to that car, this guy's leaving this one for that ride now since this opened up, and the crazy part is we don't have any real answers yet. The 18 ended up not showing up yesterday and today, so they don't know who they're going to put in that car. I'd imagine they still want to finish the Outlaw season. And then now Gio, one of the best, he is a top 10, 15 driver in the country. He ran second at the Knoxville Nationals last year, and now he's on the open market. I would imagine we're going to have to get some answers within the next 48 to 72 hours. Does Gio show up to Lernerville? I know also you could tell Gio's wrist was bothering him after that wreck the other night, so I wonder if he's getting that taken care of as well. So we have a lot to find out in a short time, too. I mean, you got to think the biggest race of our year in sprint car racing is, 3 weeks away, too? And we got some seats to fill.
We certainly do. And, Tony, it's just been a crazy week, just all across the board. I did want to mention the winners of the races so far. We haven't even gotten to that part, right? I mean, Aaron Reitzel, before he got hurt and fractured his foot, he did get one of those double-down duels wins. Mm-hmm. Corey Day, I read online that he was now the youngest winner of a sprint car race at Eldora Speedway in the history of the event. Kyle Larson winning the Joker's Jackpot. And then last night, the winner of the race was – who was the winner of the race last night? I can't even remember. There were so many things I forgot who won.
It's funny. I had this discussion in the pits with a very opinionated individual affiliated.
It was Rico.
It was Rico.
Yes, okay.
This individual in the infield last night told me that they thought that half the fans here don't even know who wins the races. They just come for the party. I raised my hand quickly and said, I can tell you who won this race, ma'am. Full-time Kubota High Roller. Rico Abreu got the job done.
He did, and he won this race last year. He won that race last year as well, the night before the Kings Royal. He gets to qualify wherever he wants, and that's one of the benefits of winning the night before the Kings Royal. You can qualify wherever you want during the Kings Royal qualifying run. But, man, it just seems like there's a lot of guys that have had tough weeks. I'd have to count because I can't imagine there's that many guys at this point who have made every feature this week without using a provisional. It's kind of hard to say who could be the favorite to win tonight, Brian.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the favorite I think you got to lean towards the 57, the 2, 24. The 41 and the 24. I think
it's been fast all week, but no results.
Also, like Rico being overshadowed last night, Carson ran second. People don't even Kyle and David were just going for the last spot on the podium. Carson was up there as well. I think those have got to be the favorites. I'm still hesitant to count out Donnie Schatz being it's the Kings Royal and the way this format. That's the also thing. The way this format is, I don't even want to pick a winner until I see the heat lineups or know what the wheel invert is. Just because, you might go out and set quick time, but then you spin a 6.
But to Tyler, it was funny because we were in the hospital in Dayton this afternoon with Tyler, and even he was giving his opinion. Possibly still a little sedated, but surely well-versed on the topic. He was talking about where he thinks you're going to want to qualify tonight. Him and Creaney were going back and forth on the numbers, where they think you really want to qualify to be affected the least amount by the wheel. I do just want to cross back quickly on the whole silly season open seat. I want to get your input on this, Chase. I think the play here, and I can't believe nobody else has seen this, surely the move for KCP here is, he's earned the nickname Super Sub. Right? He's a politically correct dream for any team that's ever looking to put a guy in the seat. He's a beautiful individual. Out with one Selzy, in with another. Don't you just see this working out perfectly for Dominic Selzy to take over?
Might be able to fit in the same seat.
I don't know why on earth he wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I was texting Dominic actually last night for quite a while, and I don't think that that's in the cards right now. But, they've got to figure something out because they are 7th in Outlaw points. I was told by Blake Anderson that Carlton Reimers with the Outlaws was able to give them show-up points last night. So they did get that. It does sound like they're going to be trying to continue on with the season. They've got to find a driver, as we've mentioned a few times here. And then, of course, with the 87 and the 7 BC going on as well, there's a lot to figure out over the next couple of days. We're back in action in just a few days at Lernerville.
Well, and just one more bow tie on this week, the FS1 broadcast.
Yeah.
You and I were so blessed to be the parts of that we were. Brian, you saw so much of the kind of reception of that on social media. But just what a job FloRacing and Kubota High Limit Racing did together. We're the lucky ones that got to be on air and talk about it and have our voices heard. But what a job by everybody on FloRacing underneath Michael Rigsby and everybody with Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson and Mike Hess and Josh Peterman and Kendra Jacobs at High Limit to make that come together the way that it did, to create a format, to find the time in the schedule, to put National 410 Wing Sprint Car Racing on live TV. I still can't believe I got to be a part of it. I can't believe everybody in these pits got to be a part of it. Just what a cool night for the sport. I really can't believe we got to do that.
Yeah, it was awesome to read all the comments on social media from people that were watching their first ever sprint car race. And I'm sure, Brian, with everything that happened in that race, there is no doubt that we made some new fans of sprint car racing. That race, the Joker's Jackpot, take away the injury for Tyler Courtney, of course, but that race literally had everything you could want for a new fan to see. You had the work area drama. You had a couple of big wrecks, which we don't like, obviously, but, a fan can say, wow, this stuff is dangerous. These guys are out there laying their life out on the line. The racing was great. The sliders up against the wall, the speeds. I don't see how somebody can watch that for the first time and I'll be like, wow, this is incredible stuff.
Yeah, I think I was reading, it was Matt Weaver tweeted, which, he obviously has a big NASCAR following. He asked if any new fans were watching, and I scrolled through all the replies on that, and it was amazing to see so many people admit, yeah, I'm not a big sprint car guy, I'm watching, I love it. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how you can't, with, like you said, obviously the danger is a part of it. You hope everyone's okay, and I'm glad Tyler and Aaron are, but that resonates to the new fans.
Exactly.
And then we also did a great job of showcasing the personality. You had interviews with Aaron, Sunshine, Kyle, Brad, everyone. And then the racing speaks for itself, too. Obviously, there were a few crashes in there, but when they were green, there was a great battle there between Kyle and Rico and Carson up front and the A-Main. So I think it definitely spoke to a lot of new fans, and I believe the Fox people were pretty happy. The numbers were pretty good, and hopefully we can do it again.
The best text I got after that whole thing, a friend of mine from East Texas, not the guys from Whiskey Myers.
Oh, okay.
But
thanks for clarifying.
Similar to where they're from. A buddy of mine reached out after the night was over and said, is more of this on TV this weekend? I said, unfortunately not, but you can catch every lap of High Limit live on FloRacing, and that is just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's going to be a couple new Flow subscriptions coming in here to watch the rest of the High Limit Racing season. Well, I think we've covered just about everything. We may have missed a thing or two in there just because there's been so many different things to talk about. Well, we're hanging out on top of the media center. This is not the Kings Royal yet. We are getting close to getting underway with cars on the racetrack. We will be back here on top of the media center later tonight, unless it's raining, to debrief what happens in the $200,000 to win 42nd Kings Royal tonight at Eldora Speedway. Brian, Tony, let's have fun tonight, and we'll talk to you guys again here in just a bit on the High Limit Room. PostKings Royal High Limit Room talk here. Chase Rodman, Brian Walker, Tony Laporta just got done. The victory lane wrapping up back behind us here. Anthony Mackey, the winner of the 42nd Kings Royal, $200,000 heading home to Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. Led all 40 laps in this one, Brian. And honestly, I did not think he was going to be able to hold off Rico, Brian Brown was up there as well. Kyle Larson got going at the end. But this cements Anthony Mackey in a different dimension as a sprint car driver now.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the biggest win of his life by far. It's just really cool to see. I asked in the press conference just now too. Mackey makes it six new six-figure winners. I think it was him, Rico, Corey Day, Trey Starks, Aaron Reitzel, and Buddy Kofoid in the last 8 races. So, we've seen just a new wave of superstars come into the sport and elevate to a level that we were used to seeing Kyle Larson, David Gravel, Donnie Schatz. Yeah, for year after year after year, and that's completely changed thanks to guys like Anthony. And we were talking, it was a bit of an anticlimactic race, honestly. Just considering the things that happened this week and how crazy it all was. But in turn, too, it was probably the best surface of the week, also at Eldora. I think it's just one of the coolest crown jewel wins we've seen in a long time. That's a win that everyone's happy about. No one's leaving Eldora mad that Anthony Mackey won $200,000 at the Kings Royal. That was just really awesome to see for him, his whole team. Joe Mooney and Nate Repitz are class acts. I love all those guys.
I saw the camera angle of Joe Mooney with 3 laps ago. That was cool to see him a little bit nervous there at the end. But we talked earlier, Tony, and I was just wanting to see a new king of the Kings Royal, and that's what we got.
Yeah, absolutely. And I echo Brian on this is a popular victory for sprint car racing, right? And a great stat that Brian pulled out during the press conference, 6 or 7 new 6-figure payday race winners with big-time 410 wing sprint car racing. I'll tell you, when you make that kind of money, that much money quickly, you need to make sure your taxes are in order. Wayne Carini Brent Cox, two great racing CPAs that maybe Anthony Creaney will have to reach out to now to make sure everything is on the books. But what was on the books tonight was a dominant performance by the driver from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. And I think you're right, Brian, in the sense that maybe not the most edge of your seat, nail-bitingest race ever, but man, the surface was the best it's been all week. That's great. No major catastrophes. Brad Sweet gets collected in something during his heat race, and we're hoping to hear good news back on him. But yeah, overall, awesome to see a guy like Anthony Mackey, who has come and run with Kubota High Limit Racing, has won with Kubota High Limit Racing, score a victory of this status, and put himself, like you said, in a totally different dimension when it comes to big-time race car drivers.
Hey, we agreed that we have to call Carini King Anthony, too.
King Anthony. Oh, yeah, because it's the same name. Right. But, yeah, you mentioned Brad Sweet there. We hope that he's okay, along with Cale Thomas. Big wreck. I believe that was in heat race 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Have not heard updates on either of those two drivers, so hopefully that they're all right.
Brian might have one.
The last I heard is he did get transported to a nearby hospital in Coldwater. Brad. I haven't heard anything on Cale. Brad was just getting CT scans. He was awake, alert, moving around. That was the last we heard, though.
Well, hopefully good news to come from Brad Sweet. More good news to come. But the thing about the Kings Royal, I love the format with the Wheel of Misfortune. The guy, whoever wins that last heat race, starts on the pole. And I have to say, Casey Jedrzejek on the pole of the Kings Royal. Absolutely incredible cinema. It's crazy to think, Tony, that last month I was 2 weeks late paying the rent to the car owner of the 11N. But I don't think he's going to care anymore because they were on the pole to freaking Kings Royal tonight.
Is that like name dropping, what
Yes.
you just did?
Yes.
Okay, you're big time. We get it.
Yeah. And Newmeister. Shout out to him.
Yeah, that's the name dropping.
Yes.
Shout out to the girlfriend.
The daughter, the granddaughter, the girlfriend, Maddie McLaughlin as
The
well.
girlfriend.
But that was so badass to see him. be on the
Absolutely.
pole.
How cool was that to see a kid that young and like
And nobody knows. I told him
exactly.
I told him. I said I would say 82% of the people watching tonight did not even know who you were.
When we were up in CPA Carini's suite, literally when that heat race ended and it was announced that Casey would lead him to the green flag, one of the other folks up in the suite turns around and looks at me and goes, "Who's Casey Jedrzejek?"
Yeah.
And
they probably can't even spell his name.
yeah, can you?
I can. Yeah, I can.
Go. I know it.
How about we do it letter for letter?
Yeah,
J. I start.
J
J-E-R.
D R Z E J E K.
Jedrzejek.
This is what
Remember
we
the
call
name.
this is what we call content. But in all honesty, I just have to agree with Rico Abreu, and I just want to say this before the end of the episode. He raved and raved and raved about the fans and the feel of this event, right? Eldora Speedway does a phenomenal job making the Kings Royal and every event that goes on out here feel massive, right? Crown Jewel races don't happen without Crown Jewel facilities. And Levi Jones has just done incredible with this place. Before Levi, of course, Jonathan Bateman steps in, Jerry Gappins, Misha. I mean, so many people make this place what it is, right?
Roger Slack.
And yeah, Rogers, absolutely. Yeah. And so to come here and get to run 2 great nights with High Limit, lots of fun, loved it. But I think for all of us to get to have 2 nights to kind of be fans and hang out and drink some toilet waters and sit in the grandstands and buy 50/50s and take this place in.
And the drone show.
The drone show
Was awesome.
Shout out to
Awesome,
Perth.
yep.
But man, Rico's right. Everybody who comes here loves it, and I love this racetrack. Eldora Speedway. If you haven't been, you absolutely got to make it a must see. It's so much fun to come out to.
And I just love the event overall. The Kings Royal, the pomp and circumstance, the cape, the crown, the saber, the coronation, the Don Kreitz as the royal sovereign, all the stuff going into it. The incredible crowd that was here as well. There was 1 million people in the stands tonight as well. Just an incredible Kings Royal. Like you said, Brian, it was, led all 40 laps, Anthony Mackey, but still a first-time winner. Rico catching up to him, just all the storylines involved. I would say it was a successful week for sprint car racing.
Absolutely. Some good, some bad, obviously, but the storylines that came out of this week, sprint car racing was the talk of town. Really, everywhere you go, I had so many late model people, pavement people. You saw Ray Evernham, Kenny Wallace, guys.
NASCAR people.
Yeah. You guys from different areas of the entire sport, the landscape of motorsports, talking about what we're doing in sprint car racing, not only in Ohio, but really everywhere. So I think it was a big week all around for everyone.
I think the thing people need to focus on leaving here, Chase, is head over to, I'm going to get the websites wrong, right, but Tyler Courtney, shopsunshine.com. Aaron Reitzel's merch is on RSR's website, so look up Ridge and Sons Racing. I don't know what Caleb Henry has as far as merchandise, but all those drivers, and depending on the severity of Brad's situation, those guys are all going to need support mentally, emotionally, and financially, because when you can't drive a race car anymore and you're a race car driver, you lose your income. So if people are watching this and are moved to do so, please check out Tyler Courtney, Ridge and Sun Racing for Aaron Reitzel, Caleb Henry's websites, and learn more about how you can buy a really cool looking t-shirt and support those guys in what's going to definitely be a pretty tough time for those drivers.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this on-location episode of the High Limit Room. We're standing on top of the media center, which,
Don't forget, next year we're back July 15th through the 18th, Kings Royal Week. They got announced tonight. So Joker's Jackpot is July 16th, Double Down Duels July 15th. You need to get your tickets pretty soon.
So you can potentially be the Durst Dice Roller.
That's right.
What a plug.
That is how you sell tickets right there. But we're standing on top of the media center. They just wrapped up the press conference. You can go watch that entire press conference on FloRacing.com and hear what the top 3 finishers had to say: Anthony Mackey, Rico Abreu, and Kyle Larson. We hope you enjoyed this on-site, on-location episode of the High Limit Room, and we'll see you all at Lernerville Speedway next Tuesday.